gonna get sauce. I fought the troll and a troll lost. I fought the troll and a troll lost. He tried to boss me and was out-bossed. I fought the troll and a troll lost. I fought the troll and a troll lost. Underneath his creeper bridge, hoping goats will cross. Quoting Ashcroft and Tom Ridge, I fought the troll and the troll lost. I fought the troll and the troll lost. He's even dumber than Mickey Koss. I fought the troll and the troll.
Hello and welcome to episode 40 of the TechBytes show. It's Sunday, April 17th, 2011, and the whole crew's here today to talk with you. Thank you very much for downloading, and we'll crack straight on. But before we go into the show, I would like to pass over to Gordon quite unexpectedly. Usually the show's started by Roy, but I think Gordon has recently appeared on an audio cast, and I would like him to tell us a little bit more about the show he appeared on recently. Gordon, throw it over to you.
Yeah, that was, it's a show called This Is Not a Podcast. It's a show about Identica. It's from three guys on Identica, at David Marsden, at Reality, and at Andy C. They did a show, they did a couple of episodes, and I managed to insinuate myself onto an episode as a guest. Well, yeah, it was a good laugh. Went on. They're still sort of getting their workflow organised, and I feel sorry for David in trying to edit all the different parts of the show, to create something that's listenable. But yeah, it was a good laugh and good people. And as far as I know, there's quite a few people on Identica have expressed their interest in going on as a guest. So I think they'll be working their way through different people. I just happened to be the first one that, when they said, "Oh, we're recording, do you want to come onto this episode?" And yeah, no problem. So, but yeah, it was like a 3-hour conversation, condensed down to one, with various technical hitches and all that. So yeah, it was good. It was a good laugh. And episode 3 is now out. So.
Well, we'll definitely have the link to the in the show notes to that show. And with your new celebrity status on TechBytes, who can blame them for choosing you first? So that's Gordon's claim to fame.
They did introduce me as an experienced podcaster. I just about choked my cider at that point.
Not a celebrity. Right, so normally we start with Roy. I thought I'd throw that one in. It's a very good podcast. I've listened to the first episode, and I'm very guilty of losing track of the other two, purely because of my personal workload. But the link will be in the show notes, and I strongly urge everybody to have a listen. They've got great chemistry, those lads. And with Gordon on, it can only add to its value. So get yourself over there and check it out. Yeah,
I was going to say I was only a guest for a one-off, so
yeah.
Just in case people were thinking I was about starting another podcast, it was just a one-off.
Right, well, we'll go over to Roy, and I think you'll start us off with something you want to mention, Roy.
Yeah, well, it's we weren't exactly prepared how well we or actually it's my site where I posted a notification about the fact that we're experimenting with video. And the reason for doing so was actually we have several reasons to do so. And the first one is the fact that we recently saw some shows moving into video and providing a sort of a richer experience to some of the viewers, even some of the listeners, with live feeds or sometimes you stream videos to ensure people can get the thing live using a third-party service. And I just thought, well, we could use GTK Record by desktop and try to sort of improvise a way of getting something like the IRC channels, maybe show some browser shots of certain sites that we talk about. We also thought about one of the reasons we want to do that is also to show people who's involved in the show, because I think people do get the impression we are those bunch of people with maybe voices and usually text, and if at least a couple of us are able to connect to a network and share some, in this case we're trying to use SIP. Normally, even though we don't speak about it, we record the show in Skype, and one of the things we could do with SIP was to get video working and Theora. Tim and I spent about 5 hours on Tuesday trying to get the video to work, which we did. And we couldn't reproduce today, and this is where you see just my picture. It was intended to have Tim on the video stream as well, but we didn't manage to do that within about an hour. And we just said, well, probably next show we'll have that. The future shows will also try and learn how to use the space, the extra space here, and also the vision of the IRC channel, which we haven't given the address to so far. You just see the text on the screen. We will try and see what we can do as far as video is concerned to actually give a better, kind of more interesting experience to people who just sit in the computer and listen to the show and might as well use something visual in addition to the usual audio. So yeah, that's just all I have to say about that.
Right, well, hopefully there's going to be a working video file for this particular episode so people can see what we mean. And like Roy says, it's only going to be him this time. Hopefully next time we'll have my face popping up on the screen, which I'm sure there are quite a few people listening to this show who are dying to see that and make several comments as a result of that in the news groups. But we'll shift on to some news. Roy, have you got some news to kick us off with so we can start our little debate?
Well, I wrote about the situation with MeeGo. What do you know about MeeGo so far? We heard the news back in March about obviously about announcements with Microsoft, and then was the Symbian news. Now there is a rumor that there will be 6,000 layoffs in Nokia, and one of the senior managers has stated, I'm not sure exactly when he said that, but he said it's not really a deal, it's more of a takeover by Microsoft without actually paying for the company. They basically took over the company and put the right people in the right places, which is kind of concerning to me. There is an event now where Intel is trying to do a sort of showcast for, I think for tablets, mostly tablets or all kinds of form factors like that, running MeeGo, which is more Linux than Android is. It's really a nice, solid platform, and it contains the elements that you might find in the LSB, unlike Android, which is mostly a place where you can run Dalvik, run all kinds of applications and MDRM to kind of, supposedly protect the applications in some way. So MeeGo is in the news again, and it's quite good because, to tell you the truth, I don't see much Linux news these days. I see lots of Android news. I see quite a bit of Ubuntu news, and lots of things which were associated with MeeGo, or previously it was Mimo and Mobiling from the Linux Foundation and Intel. You don't see so much about this anymore, and this is really crucial for Linux in cars. It's essential for Linux in all kinds of embedded areas. So we need to really try and ensure this type of stuff expands and succeeds, even if Nokia is not going to be part of it.
Well, I mean, staying on the subject of semi-related to Nokia, I think it's common knowledge that Nokia, the agreement that they entered into with Microsoft recently. However, I was recently looking into a couple of comments on one of Microsoft's own blogs, and it's in relation to Windows Phone 7. Now, we all know that there are many supporters of Microsoft who I would regard as die-hard supporters, and it seems even them now, the cracks are starting to show with some of the comments that they've made in respect of Microsoft's strategy with its updating Windows Phone 7. I can quote you a few here. It might be a talking point, it might not, but I think it's quite telling of people's feelings towards Microsoft these days and how it's certainly changed over the last few years, and things don't seem to be getting any better. Here's one. It is apparent that morale is rapidly deteriorating amongst your core supporters. I hope, I really do, you guys have a plan to recover and restore some of it. Otherwise, do not count on many of us to return with open arms to your future promises. Another user's put, it's looking a bit dismal, guys. What looks like Microsoft's long-time users are becoming disappointed with this whole update farce. I feel like such a tool for buying the platform at this point. They're talking about Windows Phone 7. Once again, it would seem, I'm guessing, going to get jammed by Microsoft's over-promising and under-delivering. And I think that's very telling. It's very different to what we've seen a few years back. It seemed before that Microsoft would release a package and there might be grumbles and complaints, but it would all be washed over eventually in the end, and people would just settle down with whatever they were spoon-fed by Microsoft. Now it appears, when we're in this era of choice and diversity and technology, that people